if I initially had him as a 4th round pick, but I can get him in the 8th, I'll take him.
Yeah.
But then other people probably would have jumped on him in the 4th.
Have you got your phone? Just in case we need, just record it as a backup, and then you can delete it. If we don't need it, which we shouldn't.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, just do the voice memo thing.
I'll find what that is on here now. Sure, it's one of those useless things.
Okay, we are in position and ready to go.
Recording started on here.
Oh, such beautiful high quality. So yeah, cool. Right, we're ready. Hello and welcome back to the LOC report. I will just send the link out for those 0 people that will watch it while we do it live. But for those of you recording, you can just skip over the next 20 seconds or so until I post this. Here we go. Right, so hello and welcome back to the LOC Network. I keep saying LOC report, but it's very much LOC Network now that we do it live. Obviously, unless you're watching it recorded, but it's still the network.
It's live at some point.
Exactly, it was live at some point.
So
this is our first episode of the season, obviously a lot later than we usually start. Combination of me being busy and other happenings, such as a car accident, which unfortunately delayed one episode, but none of that matters now, because we are back, and I'm joined by basically the filling co-host, the vice co-host.
When Chris can't make it, I'll step in.
Exactly. Coach Burdett, how's it going, Coach Burdett?
Not bad. Looking forward to the
it's not
seasons
long now.
come
absolutely.
around.
And I mean, you've been on more episodes than me this season, which is I think a feat no one has ever been able to say, because usually I'm the host. But I did have glandular fever way back in April and May, so you filled in on the draft show for me admirably, might I say, or the draft order reveal show, I should say. And that was a good one. So we've got all that set. We've got all the other off-season stuff that's happened since to get to. But first, we will just get to the league news, of which there isn't many at this time. Ideally, we did need to start this for some real news a couple of weeks ago, because now, obviously, all the Hall of Fame stuff is pretty much done and dusted. So we had all the nominations done. We've done all the voting now. Voting is closed. We know 2 people who definitely won't be inducted into the Hall of Fame because they did not vote.
We'll find out.
But at the draft, we'll find out the 3 inductees. Remember, it's 3 inductees just for the first season. I will reveal all the voting, who got what points and votes and everything. And so also very important news. Obviously, draft itself, 2nd of September, 3rd of September, whatever the first Sunday is in September. 2nd. I can tell you right now, it is the 2nd. It's not even in my calendar. So live, add right here so I don't forget. Not that I ever would. LOC draft, and we'll obviously be at the same Zentiv offices where we usually are in Whiteley. Let's just use that, shall we? I don't know on the exact times yet. I imagine it will maybe. We usually go for the morning, because I'm pretty sure Ross is usually the one that has difficulties around the time. So just try and block out the whole day for now, and we'll confirm the time.
Yeah, I think most people on the planner were free all day. Yeah,
I think so too. I think Tom was the only one that was would have preferred, but he will be around regardless, I think. So that doesn't matter. So 2nd of September, do not forget the draft. Whether you're coming in person or dialing in, doesn't matter. We will probably be a little more embedded digs this year, I think, because I'm pretty sure we have a new boardroom to draft in. And it's actually a boardroom and not just a meeting room. So we will be having a very high-class draft, hopefully. Something I didn't cover in the AGM, subs I joke every year that subs go up. They are actually going up this year to £3, so I hope you can stomach that.
I have to contact Lloyd's about a loan, I think. Good job.
So £3 subs. If you want to pay that to me beforehand and make it easier on yourself, please do, because I'm not sure I've actually ever collected all of them every year, which I probably should get more on. But I'm going to reinstitute my most successful year. You don't draft a pick until you pay me your subs. So that is the rule now.
That's a good rule.
So if it would be you on the clock and your subs aren't in, no pick for you. We'll just go to the next
If you're not there and you're trying to call in, we just won't pick up the Skype call.
Exactly. So £3. Ask me if you want my bank details, or obviously just give me a couple of coins whenever you see me. In terms of other news, I don't think there is anything else I can think of at this time.
Nothing's really
No.
come about.
First games of the season, so we'll obviously join. Oh, I guess we have some general NFL news. While at Tottenham, all 3 games are going to be at Wembley now.
Yep.
And the final tickets go on sale for that at the end of August.
To be fair, I mean, admittedly, they were unavoidable delays. Whatever that means.
Cool.
Because I'm pretty sure they were avoidable if
Yeah.
they built it properly.
I mean...
Yeah,
But
most things are avoidable
generally,
if you
yeah.
plan not
Yeah.
to. But that's what they've come out and said.
Okay, I'll
And
go with that.
they've lost a lot of money over it.
Yeah.
There's about 4 Premiership games.
And they'll be hosting Tottenham games in about 7 different stadiums this season by the sounds of it. So
Well, they still haven't found a place to host the City Tottenham game, I don't think.
no, they haven't.
Because
It
West
might just
Ham have
be
basically
in
turned around and
Hunts Pond at
said,
this rate. So
well, no, we've got a game there.
Oh.
So
go Tottenham.
they're screwed.
Anyway,
Yeah.
back to NFL. Yeah, I don't think there's any other news at this point in time.
No.
Obviously, we will have a few podcasts between now and the draft for you. Probably one this weekend, if not early next week, and then another mock draft will be.
Mock draft
in
one.
fact, I've got the schedule here. I may as well show you now.
I mean, that's the one which people look at each
So,
year.
oh god, that's
It's,
TV. So that's where we are today, or yesterday, whatever the day is now. Weekend, we will be doing the 27 review and best and worst draft picks, which is always a fun episode.
Yeah.
23rd of August, which I believe is next Thursday. We'll be doing the schedule review. The schedule's up now, by the way, so if you want to go and look who you're playing, it's all up there, and let me know if I've put you against the same team 5 times back, then that'd be helpful. Division... Let's say division reveal because we know the divisions, but division review, I think I was meant to. And 2018 preview. Now that we have those 2 in the bag, it's kind of a roll into one. So that's a nice little package. 30th of August, the latest we've ever done it, but arguably the best one to do right before the draft. Is the mock draft. So we'll hopefully get a crew of people to do that one, and the draft primer, which is obviously just telling you everything you need to know about draft day. And then after that, we are straight into the season. After the draft, we'll be looking back at that, and obviously looking towards week 1. So a condensed schedule, preseason schedule, but still a very good one because we have
Everything we normally have.
Yeah,
Just
exactly. Just
jam
a
pack
bit
into
more.
like 1 or 2 less.
Yeah, and that will hopefully mean that it's more interesting for you and hopefully not 1.5 hours long. I don't intend it to be. Anyway, so that's that. Let's just get straight into it. We'll start off with, so we had the draft. We all know about the draft order. I don't know off the top of my head. But you can go see that. That's on the site right now. I think you can find on the Facebook group. I posted something.
Yeah, it's all on there.
Yeah, so you can go check that. So we'll just dive straight into the AGM. So the AGM was a good one this year. Again, lots of stuff to discuss. But I think I was looking through it earlier actually, and there wasn't actually a lot we changed. We discussed a lot.
This is probably the least changes potentially over the at least in the recent years.
Yeah, and the changes we made were very, very minor. So we'll go through it, but I think that's a good sign because it's a sign we're settling. Everyone's happy. You know, we don't need to tweak it. We think it's good where it is for now. So that's always a good sign. So the first thing we discussed was short-term loan trading. So if you remember last season, there was a lot of fuss. Was it you and Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah, you and Ben wanted to do a trade and then trade the players back after a week or 2 weeks. I can't remember how much. We basically said no as a competition committee, being we, on the basis of collusion. It kind of gives an unfair advantage in a way. We debated it all and everything. Basically, it was 6-3 against implementing that. We felt it was an interesting idea, but we just had so many questions how to police it. And with a year before, we obviously wiped away all the commissioner powers, which in hindsight was a very good move, I think, as well. That made everything a lot cleaner. I think it's fair enough. I know you were a proponent of it, and I think, to be fair, people did see how it would be a good thing. It's just policing it. The
way which me and Ben, the way we offered it last year, I think it was a very fair trade for both of us.
Sure.
Because we both had an injury, I think it was. Or Ben had a bye week, I had an injury. It was in positions. It was a quarterback and a tight end.
Yeah.
So it worked for last year's. In that situation, it worked. No one else in the league was really impact. I think it was Tyrod Taylor for Delaney Walker or something. Like it's not a game changer. It's just better than waivers.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you would get times where someone's got, say, you pick up a new free agent, Deshaun Watson from last year, and then someone goes, "I'll give him to you for a kicker."
Or you know, you're trading for, let's say, your first backup running back to someone who needs a running back. It
comes into whether you're giving someone a player to beat someone else, or whether you're doing it for your own
It's
game.
not it's a genuinely you know, we're just mutually, you know, I can do with this player. It's not, you've got that situation, then you've got the other, I could get an edge here kind of thing. So I agree. There's not all instances where it would be a bad thing, but I think because
it would
of
take
that,
maybe a
it's
year, and
difficult
there'd be a couple where it'd be contentious.
Exactly. Anyway, so that didn't go through.
No.
We also had a waiver system review. So obviously the season before we switched to a waiver acquisition budget. So we have $100 each. I thought that worked very well the first season.
Yeah.
The only minor gripe, which I'll come on to in a second, that I had with it at the time was the reverse order of standings was a good way of kind of keeping things balanced, but in a way it also went too far because it helps the worst teams. But it's almost like a slingshot effect in times that you can be multiple games behind and you get that advantage for so many weeks. It kind of propels you on, whereas that shouldn't be the point of it. And counter to that, if you're leading away and ahead, you know, as you go through the season, more and more stuff's going to happen, slow you down. You can't get the players you need to sustain yourself. So it has the opposite effect on the best teams. So it kind of, while it pulls stuff together, it's almost a bit unfair in the way it does it. The waiver acquisition budget completely wiped that away because everyone's on level footing at the start of the season at least, and throughout the season you obviously have whatever budget you have left. But then again, you could say, well, that's great, but that means there's absolutely nothing to assist the worst teams. You could say, yeah, they can spend more, but if they're spending more, that means the better teams still have more later on. So do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think on the whole it was a better system. What did you think of the waiver system in year one?
I like the old system.
Yeah,
I was
don't get me
always a
wrong.
big
I liked
advocate
it
of
too.
the old system
Yeah.
because I think it showed more skill.
Yeah.
Picking out. It's not a case of reacting. It's being proactive and picking up waivers. It's not being like, oh, Deshaun Watson's he's put up 3 good weeks. Let's pick him up. He's looked like he was good in that week. He only got 5 points.
Yeah.
He looked good. I'll pick him up, store it.
Yeah.
So I think it takes away that element a bit. It's still there in the sense that you can bid for them or pick them up early still, but it's, I don't know, I just think it takes that bit away a little bit in terms of the top teams having to stay on top because of that.
Yeah, sure.
But I mean, it was alright last year.
Yeah, and we have implemented a system now of kind of, I guess, appeasing that element a bit and saying what I said and giving the worst teams a bit more of an edge without just completely letting them, you know, cripple the best teams and really aid the bottom teams. So what we came up with was, and this I think,
it's down there.
Yeah, it's here. I'm just saying, I can't remember the votes, but we obviously voted to keep the current system in a hilarious 3-4-1 against 4 abstain vote. And then the new addition to waiver system, which was 4-4-1 against and 4 abstain. So like you just said, people either didn't really care or didn't really know.
Was there one less vote on the... Oh, was that when Ollie dropped out of the call, potentially?
Potentially. But I think because we already got the votes, we probably
Yeah.
skipped over it. Anyway, so the correction we made was basically after the first month of the season, teams will get additional funding based on the standings. So the bottom third of the league, so 9 to 12, will get additional $10. The middle thirds of 5 to 8 will get $5, and the top third 1 to 4 get nothing. And basically, you get that money every other week. So you'll get it in week 4, then there'll be another payment 6, 8, 10, 12. Slightly confusing, but basically what that means is the bottom third is getting some extra money to kind of give them a better chance of getting the players they need without, you know, it really takes into account that if they're doing badly, they would have spent more to begin with. That's where that's coming from, to kind of give them a cash injection to help them get a bit more. While at the same time, obviously the best teams probably wouldn't have been using their budget as much, and if they have, it means their team's got even stronger as a result. So they don't need the money as much, and I reckon it'll probably balance it out in a way. That was kind of what I had in my head.
I think, still just going back to the waiver, I think the point of it is I think this system better suits if your player gets injured. I didn't have it last year.
That's very true.
None of my players, other than quarterbacks, got injured, but you don't tend to dive in to get a backup quarterback.
No, exactly.
You tend to, if your running back goes down, you want the backup running back.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that, but a few people did benefit from that, so I can see why more people voted for it. And again, this helps with that.
Yeah.
In the fact, if you've had 2 injuries, you're likely to be near the bottom of the
absolutely
thing, so you can spend that additional budget to get back up.
Yeah.
Whereas if you haven't had any, then you don't really need much more because you're probably quite happy with your team outside of the odd 5 credits here or there.
Exactly.
So I think I think it'll even up a little bit.
Definitely.
Or account for the injury factor, which
certainly.
can affect anyone
Yeah,
at any given week.
it's going to hit everyone and anyone, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
and we say, okay, it has a bit of an... So, if you're in last place, or in the bottom third, I should say, from every week, from week 4 to week 12, okay, you get an extra $50. But, if you're in that position, you obviously still need it. So, it's not...
Yeah.
It's not just handing cash out for nothing, basically. So, we'll be interested to see how that goes. Hopefully it helps the league. We looked at positional limits as well.
Strongly against.
Yeah, it's very strongly against. There was 1, 4, and 8 against, so no one wanted limits on any positions. And this was even excluding limits on wide receiver and running back. So, but yeah, no one wanted it, so that's fair enough. So we voted, hilariously, to change the day of waivers from Wednesdays to Thursdays. I'm not even sure I can do that, so I think it's going to stay as Wednesday, unfortunately.
I'm pretty sure where that came from.
I think I just mentioned it, like, would people like an extra day to do waivers? It's weird, because you can set the waiver period, which you could set that a 1 day, 2 day, however many days you want, which I think does control that, but that then also controls the people that get dropped, who then go on to waivers.
Yeah, so then
and it would extend their day,
which be like 5 days on waivers.
Isn't
or 4
what we
days.
voted on, nor what we want, because then it means.
I mean, it's on Wednesdays. It's going to be Wednesday every week.
Yeah,
you've got 3 days to sort it.
Yeah.
It's like no one in the league is that busy on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Well, so it'll go
Monday,
Wednesday
Tuesday,
morning, but so you've got...
They suddenly have all the free time in the world on a Wednesday. It doesn't work.
Exactly, no, definitely. You've
got
and
if someone in the league is like that, I'd like to see your schedule and see what on earth's going on.
So waivers probably going to stay as a Wednesday. So, and then we talked about the ever eternal question of life: how do we make weeks 15 and 16 interesting for non-playoff teams? The answer we came up with: there isn't really a way. So now we're just gonna go back to what it was kind of like before. Just gonna play for pride, basically. We'll keep. We'll keep the brackets as they are, as they appear on the thing, because I always had to manually change them anyway, and everyone got really confused. So we'll keep them as they are. Week 15 is basically a qualification week, then week 16 is the bowl games for everything. So it follows the normal actual playoff kind of schedule. And then whatever that is your actual official finishing position, not what it says in the standings. So a little bit of pride to play for, so there you go. Then we set the dates for the division lining, flag, football and draft and blah blah blah.
Which 2 of those did not?
No, and we'll cover that in a second. We discussed the special draft for a 10th season. Obviously, 10th season, it's a great achievement. We thought about doing an auction or something.
Auction PPR.
Yeah, but I think we just...
IDP League.
Yeah, we just stuck with what it was, because, auction is fun, I agree. It would just take forever.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had the Hall of Fame nominations, so I'm not sure if they're already available. So I introduced them.
A couple.
Yeah, I think I said the ones that were there.
About 5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah, so you can go read all of those now. They're all on the blog. As I say, all the voting stuff for that. Then we had the elections. I was re-elected 6, Ron 2, and abstain 1. Tom was re-elected as the E.Locker 8, 4, 1 abstain. And League Ombudsman, I don't think Viv was actually there, but we put him up for election anyway.
And he just beat Ron.
Yeah, 4-3 to 2 abstain.
That was no knock though, Viv did a good job last year. It's more just we found it funny voting Ron.
Yeah, and
as we do every year.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. And the League Ombudsman will actually have more to do this year. I don't know, I think I made this public. So I'm obviously custodian of the podcast, and I have previously done power rankings as well. But it's half my week on top of my normal fantasy stuff. So I was like, all right, screw this. I have a committee. Tom's now going to do the power rankings, so I no longer write an article, which I'm sure many of you are pleased about. And Viv will pick up something. Tom always used to do his
predictions.
Yeah, his predictions, which if they got written were good.
So they're a good read.
So we're now relying on Viv to pick up the torch or
something, just a weekly article.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have to be the same each week. Just
whatever you want.
His thoughts on the league.
Yep. So we did that. Then we had an open floor. About negative points for when a kicker misses field goal under 50 yards or a PAT, which is pretty funny. Well, the voting wasn't too far away. It was actually 3-4-5 against and 1 abstain. So you know, maybe in the future year, who knows, it's pretty funny. But kickers are annoying in the first place, so.
Yeah.
And then finally, we just had a note to look into other fantasy websites as an alternative. I actually did a little look in today. There's nothing, I think, really compelling that can drag you away in terms of feature-wise. And even if there was, we've then got the issue of all of our histories on the NFL website. So for that reason,
I think everyone's quite happy with the LOC being on the NFL website. Yeah.
So all in all, pretty good AGM, I thought. As I said,
not a lot changed in the league. It was more
not a lot of changes at all.
A couple of small tweaks. We'll see how they impact.
Yeah, exactly. So then the first event we had in the off season was
a very strange American football game, which involved 5 people playing FIFA.
Yeah, it was meant to be the Passport game, because we didn't have very many people available, unfortunately, and I think a few people dropped out at the last minute, if I recall. Yeah. Yeah, that's really helpful. How do I?
She's 99.
Oh, good lord, that's not even what I wanted to do. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so basically, we were going to have a Passport game. What am I doing? Yeah, I think we only had, 6 people available?
Yeah.
So we just decided to knock it on the head. But that didn't mean we didn't do anything. We did instead decide to do a very good FIFA tournament. So I think if you'll see, there was 5 of us in total in the end. So we had a proper round robin on the left here, which one went to kind of like a semi-final thing, and then we obviously had a finals as well. So we'll start off with each game. We'll just run it through.
Well, the teams first.
Oh, the teams. Okay, so I was France because I had just come back from France.
Chris was England.
He was England. You were Belgium.
I was Belgium.
Tom was Germany.
And Pat picked Portugal.
Pat did pick Portugal. So those are the teams. And in game 1, it was me versus Chris. We drew 1-1 in that game. It was.
And this is where we found out that Chris is the best cross-field player on FIFA anyone's ever seen in their life. And it's an ongoing joke that I still make of him at football now, that it's just absurd what he was doing, and it worked.
It was pretty crazy.
That's the thing, it was good.
That game, it was a combination of very boring but also very entertaining, because it was not a lot happened, but at the same time...
the best 1-1 draw that you can have on FIFA.
Yeah.
It's not like it was 1-1 and there was no chances.
There was lots we just kept missing them all.
It wasn't the best finishing display, I'll be honest.
But in the next game, Ollie beat Tom. Ollie took that one 3-1.
A couple of lucky goals, to be fair.
Yeah, I think if I remember.
Not much going either way. No. I think he got a lucky penalty, which was saved, I believe, and then scored. It was
something like that,
a bit of a dull 3-1 game, to be fair. It was a lot more even than 3-1 would suggest.
Yeah. But it didn't take long for Tom to bounce back, because he then beat Chris 3-1.
Yeah.
Which I think was... Chris had some pretty, nice play, but in the end, I think the best team won.
Yeah. Tom was pretty good in that.
And then you played me 3-0. Again, another decisive victory. I think I gave you a few scares, but ultimately, same again. Pretty much in control most of the game. Just the finishing was better. And then I also lost 3-0 straight after that to Tom. Pretty much the same story. Then Chris against Ollie. Ollie took another 3-0 win. That is a 0 right there. Then we had Pat arrive.
Pat had to do the marathon of FIFA.
Yeah, so we had to play 4 games in a row.
Well, it turned out to be 5 in the end.
It did. Yeah,
we played.
It did. So Pat played Tom, and he didn't do too badly. I think he gave Tom a lot of problems, and Tom only just squeaked it at the end 2-1.
Yeah.
But then, fortunately, that didn't last long for Pat, because he lost 2-0 to me. And then he lost 1-0 to
However, the game v Pat, I said it on the day, Pat was, for me, the hardest opposition. Yeah. Not because it's not a ranking of other people, it's my style of play.
Yeah.
Didn't work against Pat. I only got that goal because one of his players went down injured in the 6-yard box. So Lukaku or someone could just stand in an offside position.
Yeah.
So that was a good game, that. Given that.
And then Pat finally got a win after against Chris.
Which set them up to play each other straight away in the playoffs.
Yeah, so there was a 4-3-5 qualifier, because why not? So these were before we go into that, these were the final standings in the points table. So Ollie obviously finished first, picking up maximum points. Yeah. Tom came second with 9, only dropping that 1 game against you. I came third with 4, winning 1, drawing 1. Pat came fourth, winning 1, losing 3, and then Chris finally with 1 point. Sadly, not getting a win in the group stage, but he had a chance in the 4th v 5th qualifier, playing Pat again. But obviously, they had just played each other once before. You have a bit of scouting on each other. Pat was obviously paying a bit more attention, and he picked up. I think from what I remember, it was a pretty comfortable 2-0 win in the end. Sadly, knocking Chris out. But he still had fun, so that's all nice.
Yeah.
And then I played Tom in a 3-2 thriller. I think that was almost joint highest scoring game of the day. And that was a real back and forth because I think at one point you weren't between us. I wasn't really sure who was going to win. I didn't know how I was doing it.
It was close. It was one of the ones where, especially after he went out 3-1. 3-0 last time against you. Everyone was probably thinking, okay, you should
walk over.
Statistically beat him again, but no, I think it was. Anything happens in the second time
absolutely.
round.
And then really the same again with you versus Pat. He gave you more problems in picking up another 1-0 win.
Yeah.
But
I think I got an earlier goal this time, so I sort of sat on it.
Yeah. Didn't
but
have to play as aggressive.
again, it was like you can see they were my 2 lowest scoring games against Pat.
Yeah.
But scored 3 in every other game except against Pat.
So that led us on to the finals. As with every good tournament, we had a 3rd v 4th place playoff for 3rd place, which again took place between me and Pat. And again, I was mostly in control of that one and took that one comfortably 2-0. But the final was really where it was at. I think again it was a real back and forth game. I think Tom took the lead twice. I can't quite remember.
I think I went 1-0 up, then he went 2-1 up.
Right, yeah.
And then I scored literally. It went to extra time.
It did go to
It was extra time, and it was the second half. It was a speculative shot
that
probably he didn't deserve to lose to, but at the same time, it was a good goal.
Yeah.
In terms of if it was, so it's.
Yeah. So that was
some
a great
would say
game.
fair result, but
yeah,
if it went the other way, it'd also be a fair result.
Definitely. So Ollie won the passport tournament. Excuse me, FIFA tournament.
Yeah.
And Tom came second. Hilariously, we didn't really need to play the playoffs because we just finished in the order of the table anyway. Which
I think that's my 4th passport victory in a row.
I think so. You haven't lost one, have you?
I lost the very first one.
Oh, okay.
But then I've won since. I can't remember if we've done 4 since then or 3.
I can't remember. You've won a lot, basically.
I'm on a win streak.
So that was that. So we had that, and then a few weeks later, originally, we were meant to do the division lining event, which was the LEC Logistics Challenge, as organised by our current champion, Chris. Again, we postponed that because we only had 6 people to another date where a lot more people said they could come, and we still got 6 people. I think that was, when was that, late July in the end?
Last weekend of July, I think.
Yeah, last weekend of July.
Maybe the week before,
And that was really good fun. It's almost a shame a lot of people didn't turn up because it's as much something for all us to do, but really I think it's really it's fun for the champion because it's their event. They get to plan it. You know, it sets the divisions for the next year. So it's a lot of fun when you have a lot of people there. It was still fun, don't get me wrong. It would have been nicer with more people. Not that it kind of really mattered because this one we weren't together for most of it.
No, but it's different.
Yeah.
Because even with 3 teams, the way it was set up, no one did the same thing. Like, no 2 teams went for the same thing. So there was so much you could do.
So for the benefit, if you weren't there, basically, Chris gave us a list of... We had 4 hours to visit as many places as possible and get as many points as possible. You got more points for the furthest thing away, less points for local things. There was multipliers challenges, which also gave you more extra
combinations
points.
of things.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really cool. It was really, I don't know, he must have spent ages putting that together.
About 7 months.
Yeah, yeah, unsurprisingly. So we had 3 teams on the day. You and Tom.
Me and Tom,
Chris and Ben, because Viv
couldn't make
it. We had quite a lot of dropouts literally the day of, I think 3 people.
We were due for 8 people, weren't we?
Viv, Pat, and Ross were all due to come, but we couldn't, unfortunately. So yeah, he said, and then me and my dad. Let's go through Ben and Chris's tactic first.
So they went bold. They did go bold. So the rules as well, so you're allowed 1 car. Or one person, one driver between you, but anything else goes. So, first of all, the decision between the teams was split up or stick together. I think every team ended up splitting up, at least for a bit. So yeah, Ben and Chris, obviously Chris designing it, you may think he would have had an edge. But then he didn't know he was taking part until the morning.
No, that's very true. So, we got 30 minutes planning time as well.
So Ben ended up going up to London for the day. So Ben got the train down from London. To come down for the weekend. Got the train back up to London. Took 2 photos up in London. Missed his train back. Got a later train back. And all in all, had a good time. Then got the train back up to London that evening.
He must have spent actually, no, he's a rail card, doesn't he? So.
He spent a lot of money, time, and he said it was good though. He enjoyed it.
That's the main thing, isn't it?
And he got quite a lot of points from it.
He did. He went to Trafalgar Square on the O2?
Yeah.
So a big ticket.
I think the 2 highest scoring
Chris,
places.
he went to a few service stations, if I recall.
Chris did a bit of everything. He did some race centres, service stations.
Yeah, he went to Oxford, didn't he, actually?
Yeah, that was his big one. He drove up there and sort of hit everything en route. And obviously dropped Ben at the train station and picked him up after. But they obviously went big. They didn't get as many multipliers as they probably could have done. They got back an hour or 59 minutes after the time of finish.
They nearly basically just completely whacked themselves. So basically, if you turn up late, you got a penalty for 1 to 30 minutes. You got a penalty of 2 points per minute.
Yeah.
For 30 to 60 minutes, you got a penalty of 4 points per minute. So on top of what you've already got from the 2, and if it was 60 or more, it basically just doubles all the penalties you've had, but you get no more after
and
that.
they lost
180
or something.
Yeah, we kind of thought, in hindsight, probably should just be you got to be back at that time, which is about 3 o'clock, or you're eliminated, because. Really, you could have completely abused that. And done
me and Tom, we had a discussion on the way back. I'll get onto it in a bit, but we discussed just abusing it.
Yeah, but apart from them, and they didn't abuse it too badly.
To be fair, they didn't purposely abuse it.
No, they didn't.
It's not like they were like, oh, they were just driving around. It was because Ben missed his train.
Yeah.
But then once that had happened, they were like, well, we may as well see what we can get out of it.
Yeah.
Because at that point, there's no other trains the next 50 minutes or whatever. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's not their fault as such. It was unlucky, but it happens.
Yeah, definitely.
They made it back in time.
Yours and Tom's strategy was a pretty good one. We won't reveal the results.
We went through quite a lot of ideas. Our initial plan was, right, we'll go over to Southsea. We were just going to stick together. We were going to drive over to Portsmouth, do all of that, drive to Southampton, do all that, then come back to the local area ones. But on the way to Portsmouth, I was sitting there rereading everything. I was like, why don't we just go for this? Tom, I don't know Salisbury. Tom was like, well, we can get Salisbury Cathedral, then we can get Stonehenge. I was like, go on then, if you think you can do that. En route, he dropped me in Southampton. Yeah. We bought some big issues. The last big issue in Southampton. That was one of the things, get a big issue.
And every copy was worth
a ridiculous amount of points. Unfortunately, there was only one. I was willing to pay some big money for some big issues. But it is a good deed. It's helping out.
Definitely.
And then there was various charitable donations and things. So I went round and got all the miscellaneous items in Southampton. Then he picked me up when we arrived back. He'd done the 2 big ticket items, and we just built up in multipliers basically. Yeah. So our strategy was more hit all the multipliers. It makes more sense for those who've seen the sheet. That there were so many different things of like, if you get these 4, you times your score for them by 4 and things like that. So we went for those and trying to be a bit clever about it, and it worked quite well for us. Unfortunately we had a plan. There was one where it was Salisbury Cathedral, a church in Portsmouth, I think it was St Mary's, and then the 2 local churches to Loxheath. And we were like, well, we've already got the one in Portsmouth. We'll get into Salisbury, so like when we get back, we'll get those 2. We completely forgot, and it was quite a big point because obviously it had Salisbury Cathedral in that, and it was multiplied up. Yeah. And it was only later in, like, when we'd all sit down for about 20 minutes, we were just like, we forgot to do something. And like, it's one of those things, but it was. Yeah. We really enjoyed it. The way which we described it when we were going around, like, he's basically taken what Ben did last year,
which was a treasure hunt around Loxley Centre,
and taking it on a bigger scale,
basically.
And
so next year it's going to be nationwide. Is what we're learning.
Yeah, and then it's going to be Europe, and then
the world.
Yeah. So give it 5 years' time.
We'll be on Mars. And just to clean up the last team, me and my dad, our tactic. Well, originally we had a tactic of. Right, because I had Becky to drive me my secret weapon, but she had to go for lunch with her friends in Southampton, but then she could drive me afterwards, so I was like, okay, I'll do the local area stuff and Southampton, because I can go around while she's eating lunch, and then my dad originally was going to do Fareham, Gosport and Portsmouth, which would have got quite a lot of points. But then he was looking at the sets and the multipliers, and he looked at the services, and he thought he could get every service, which also was worth a lot of points. Yeah. So again, I say we had this 30 minutes thinking time. So okay, we agreed what we were going to do. I was going to do Southampton and Loxheath and try and get as many multipliers as possible as I could on the way. He was going to go and hit every service station, but he wanted to plan his route. So I went away and started doing the local area stuff. As I'm on the way to, I think I was halfway through the local area stuff actually. He phones me saying, right, I can't hit all the service stations because it'll take too long. So I'm going to just hit as many as I can. You focus on the multipliers and everything. And if you recall, the multipliers involve quite a bit of travelling, I think. You either needed to do them as a team, or you had to have one person completely dedicated to doing something.
Yeah.
Because I had Becky having to go somewhere for lunch, that wasn't possible. Also, I'd already planned everything. I was already mid-doing my plan. Didn't really have time to adjust the plan, so I was like, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Which in hindsight worked out pretty well, because you kind of look at it, the driver person is obviously going to be the high point earner, if you look at it that way. And the non-driver is going to be the lower point earner. I ended up finishing with more points than my dad, because he did the services, but didn't get all of them. So, okay, he got a chunk of points, but it wasn't...
Yeah.
Because there was no combination. So we did come in last place in the end, unfortunately, because of that, but it was still fun. Chris and Ben came second with their Herculean effort. Had they been back on time, they might have had a chance of winning. I can't quite remember.
No, I think they're still short.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if they're back on time, they're still just short.
Although we took it off before we did the multiply their points, so you never know. It might have been...
Potentially, yeah.
They came second as it happens, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And you and Tom came first, so what was that? So it was a good event. Division's got a line. So actually, wait, that's only half the story, because that put...
We had a discussion on the day, didn't we, on
how
we were going to do
after
it.
we got back, yeah.
Initially, it was going to be when there was going to be 4 teams of 8, or 4 teams of 8 people. That was going to be essentially the top
itself.
2 divisions.
Yeah, basically.
But with 6, it sort of was a bit redundant if you have one division and half the division as a random.
So what we did was, since we had 3 teams there, we have 3 divisions. We said, okay, you and Tom go in Southampton, Chris and Ben go in Portsmouth, and then me and my dad go in Winchester. And then we've obviously got 6 other teams to do, so we thought, well, let's just, the winner of the event, how about they pick who they want in their division, then second place picks who they want in theirs, and obviously me and my dad get whoever's left in their division. So you chose Ross and Ollie Gardner in the end, so, or the one who shan't be named, I should say. So that rounds out the Southampton division. Chris and Ben chose, was it Phil and Nigel?
I can't remember.
I think it's Phil and Nigel.
I'm trying to think now.
You know what?
I know there was a lot of discussion on they wanted Phil and Pat in the same division. People wanted Phil and Pat in the same division, but I don't know if that ever actually happened.
Let's just take a look quickly.
Yeah.
It won't take too long. I definitely know Viv's in my division. I'm pretty sure. Pat is.
I think the thing is though, like everyone's proven over the last few years that they can get good records.
So yeah, that was yeah, exactly. We make a big deal of it's the line division. It means nothing. I mean, and I do the schedule, and you're like, if I'd done the schedule that way, I would have won more. But again, we don't have teams yet, so it means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things right now. So yeah, we have Andy Dalton, Red Zone, and the top forwards join Chris and Ben in the Portsmouth division, and then Pat and the Dream Team joining me and my dad in the Winchester division. So good divisions in the end, I think.
How many Corona Bowls does each division have?
That will be an interesting.
Is it 3 in each?
So
we've got 3 between
top
us.
3, yeah, we've got one there, one there.
Yeah, it's 3 in each.
No, they've only got 1 between them, haven't they?
But then Chris won it last year.
Oh, sorry, yes, of course.
So they won.
And then I've got 1, my dad's got 1.
Oh no, there was.
And Jake left.
Yeah.
So nearly 3 in each, 2 in this one.
I was thinking that could have worked out quite.
Yeah, it could have.
Well, no one really thought about that. So it was only when I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw the top 2 and I thought it was 3.
But that means each division's pretty competitive because all the Corona Bowl winners aren't lumped.
Does that mean the 3rd one has to come into your division this year?
Oh.
I'm not speculating, but
it's on the
this
could
could be a big fix.
Yeah, but that's it. That's for all our recaps. There was obviously really no fantasy football stuff in this show as such.
But
that's
properly
fine.
off.
No, it hasn't, because we'll be back. Or I'll be back maybe with Ollie or someone else
Yeah.
Maybe Sunday, if not early next week. With, I can't remember, what was it, the 2017 review, did I say?
Best and worst draft
Yeah,
picks from last year.
best and worst draft picks, so we'll be back with that. And then we'll be going into...
I don't know if in the best and worst draft pick people want to incorporate the funniest waiver pickups of the year as well. Because now it's on budget, it's probably easier to see.
Sure. I was just annoyed because he blew his whole budget in week 1.
Mainly, I just want to talk about that. And there was a few other questionable ones.
There was a few other questions. But
that's what you get with this budget.
yeah, but I think after a year, people should hopefully know more what they're doing. Yeah. So anyway, that's episode 1. Hope you enjoyed it for anyone who watches it. We'll be back with you soon. Take care. See you later.
It's good, that.